are we doing today?
Doing very good. How about you, good sir?
I am doing splendiferous. Now you must tell me where you got your outfit.
My
I'm
outfit?
needing a new modiste. Have a spooktacular day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to Coast of Barrows. We're here at Alton Towers for Scarefest.
Yes, we're at this joyous occasion where it's full of fog and on theming. It's not Alton Towers doing that, it's just the weather.
Yeah, it's very miserly, a bit rainy and quite foggy.
But as you can tell by the title of this video, the entire point is Alton Towers Scarefest in 2024 worth visiting or paying for? We are going to try our best to give our honest opinions. We're not going to bring no bias into this. And it's all about reviewing the Scarefest elements.
Yeah, and this is only our second year, so like a lot of people, they've been going for years and years and years, so obviously with the same mazes coming back, it can be quite disappointing for them, whereas we've only seen a couple of them last year, like the Attic and Altonville Mine Tour, so we're slightly different in the fact that this is our only second year. But of course we need to review the new mazes too.
Yes, we do. There's Compound, of course, and we've never been in Daz games, but it wasn't our thing, but we're going to go in it anyway just to try out.
Yeah, and see what it's like. We have heard mixed reviews again, so that one will be really interesting. And then of course we have the family friendly mazes as well.
Yes, we do, and there'll be very limited ride footage, if any, in this vlog because we are focusing purely on the Scarefest elements for once.
Yes, and some highlights from the shows, of course, as well.
Naturally, yes, because, you know, Scarefest. Anyway, let's get to it and see what this is all about. Is it really worth it or not?
Yep, and first up, we're going to Hex.
Now, some people actually lived on the estate, the gamekeepers, people who looked after the horses and all that sort of stuff. And actually part of my family lived on the estate for very nearly 150 years.
Well, we just came off the Legend of the Towers Hex. We had two rides on there just to get both sides and both rows and all that good stuff. It's very important. But either way, fortunately as a new timer for me, I liked it. And a little secret about these Wickerman madhouses, I always like the stories when I can understand the bloody things. But the ride systems, I've never been a fan of them because I find them very tame and boring to an extent. This one, however, though, was quite different. I was pleasantly surprised with the G's you could feel in your head and just like in your body in general, especially in your head. I could feel it after the ride.
I always did tell them that Hex was definitely one of the best, so it's good to have it back. I will say it's very similar to what it used to be. I'd probably just say maybe, I think they've cut down the pre-show a little bit. I think it was slightly longer, and I do believe they have updated most of the lighting package in there, so obviously they have a lot of shiny LEDs on the tree, which used to not be there. You used to just have like a kind of a dull lighting underneath the tree. I'm not sure on the LEDs. You said probably new audiences probably won't mind it so much.
Yes,
I'm like, it might be a bit too bright, because obviously when you start it you have this nice green glow underneath the tree, and I think that kind of works okay, but then when the LED comes on it's like just blinking Christmas tree light. Maybe a little bit. I just kind of feel like it, maybe, yeah. I
will admit the Christmas tree effect is probably a bad thing. My idea is that they did this to entice new audiences with low attention spans these days, because that is a thing, as we all know with TikTok and everything else. So I think new, bright, shiny, colourful lights might help, but it does kind of take away from what I've been told is the original intention of the ride. But it's time to find something else around here to jump into on Scarefest and give our thoughts.
Yeah, I don't know what, but let's go. Well, we just came out of Amigos in the Afterlife.
And that was a very fun experience. Now keep in mind this is targeted at a younger audience primarily, but you can still enjoy it as an adult as well.
Yeah, and like there's loads of like interactive with like the audience. Like obviously it's not supposed to be scary, it's just fun, really quite like hilarious sometimes. Like obviously the first bit you go in, you meet the gatekeeper of the afterlife, and basically he loses the key to the door and you have to look in all these bins, so it's like a lot of bin hoking for everybody. Steve actually found the key, didn't you?
It was right next to me straight away, and before we carry on we will say there'll be spoilers ahead for parts of this, just so you know what happens after you go through the gate into the afterlife. And after that we go into the kitchen.
Yes, where obviously we meet our lovely cook. She is making a recipe for getting us through a passage through to like an afterlife, basically, for our guide.
She's got to resurrect El Salvador, which is the guide.
Yeah, so basically she asks for certain things. So the first thing was a green pepper.
Which was behind us on the shelf,
which we found it. And then there was sunflowers and also yellow socks. But she asks for riddles. She does a riddle and then you have to kind of guess what it is and then find it around the room, which is actually quite funny.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then you get guided by El Salvador through just a little tunnel into the music room where they encourage you to dance. And then you get onto one of the really cool parts, the coolest part probably.
We had the ring, the wrestling ring.
Yeah, Nacho Libre.
Yes.
Essentially.
Which was really funny. So like they obviously pick on somebody to go in the ring. The first guy didn't actually want to go in, which was quite funny. But the guy next to him, he volunteered himself.
Yeah.
And he was getting really into it, which really
helps.
Yeah, it really helps when the people actually just get into it and just embrace it. And then after that, we went into the music room.
Yeah, we got a nice did a dead band.
Yeah, and Steve got to be a part of the dead band.
Yeah, again, they were asking people to eventually use the maracas.
Yes, and
play
the
along.
guy next to Steve didn't want to do it, so Steve's like, I'll do it.
Well, I didn't necessarily say that. It's just we were shimmying our shoulders again. I was getting into it with the music, and he was like, "You, come on, you get on stage." It's like, "Nah, fine. Hold my smiler cup."
Yep, and he was getting well into it, weren't you? You were enjoying it.
You gotta do. I mean, I think with these things, it all comes down to how you enjoy it. Would be how many people interact and get into it, and obviously how much you interact yourself. I imagine if we weren't interacting with it much and we were just watching, it'd probably enjoy it a bit less. But because we interacted a lot, we actually enjoyed it quite a bit because of that.
And we found it really funny, and you just like got into the spirit of it, which is the whole point. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be cheesy.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is. That's it.
I mean, I wasn't expecting to enjoy it that much. I mean, I think there's a bit too much people in there, I will say that, because at the start I couldn't see anything. In the gate, I could not see anything.
There was because everyone just didn't want to move in. They were like trying to crowd round the corner. So we were at the back of the group and like we couldn't see anything which was quite annoying. But
next up, right next to it, we've got
Haribo Trick or Treat Town.
Yeah, because I have to get some sweets. I need some sugar.
Yeah, we didn't do this last year, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go and have a look.
A few minutes later.
Well, we've just done Haribo Trick or Treat Town and also the attic.
Yeah, we'll start with Trick or Treat Town since that's the last of those two mazes. That again was fun, but obviously nowhere near as inventive as the Los Muertos.
Yeah, so basically it's just you go in, you knock on doors. It was quite cute and fun.
Yeah, it's kind of like how Thorpe did that once, where you knocked on doors and they jumped out and scared you.
Yeah, but that was more a scary thing. This was just
scary.
Like family, and it's quite fun because you get treats, like a little trick-or-treat bound, and there are actually a lot of sweets in there.
Yeah, you get 11 bags of Haribo each, which I suppose is worth it. It kind of makes it worth it. You know, you get some sugar to go around when you go around the park. Again, it's similar to the Thorpe one, just not scary. You knock on the door, you come through, interact.
Yeah, it's just family fun, which is really good.
So it's great family fun. It's like those two mazes are ones where any child would most likely enjoy them.
Oh yeah,
guaranteed.
Definitely. Yeah,
they wouldn't be scared.
Adults can still have a good time too.
But yes, we've just been in the attic again.
So obviously this is our second time. We did it last year.
Yeah, it felt mostly the same. I didn't really notice anything different about it.
No, I think the layout's the same. It's always good getting in the towers though. The theming in there is absolutely brilliant for a maze.
It really is. I mean, I will say, again, first time last year, it was much better. But I think for a lot of these type of mazes, your first time is always going to be the most memorable.
Yeah, because it's your first run through something, you've never done it before, and I think they had a lot more actors last year.
They did, yeah, because I got jump scared way more. I got jump scared 3 times this time.
I only got once, which was hilarious.
That's a rarity for Sarah to get jump scared, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, in all fairness, I love them. I find them really funny. They just make me laugh. Like that, the whole point of like going into a scare maze is just to get a jump scare. Really.
Yeah, because
so if you don't get one, it's quite disappointing actually. Whereas like when you come out and you've had at least one, it's like yay.
Yeah, because naturally some people do get scared when they go into scare mazes, no matter where they are in the world. While others go in there because they will never get scared, but you can still get jump scared because that's an entirely different thing. So.
Oh yeah, that's just like someone jumps up behind you, like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, you want that bit of adrenaline boost. You get one from the roller coaster, you get one from a jump scare, so it works.
Yeah, which I love.
So again, I can't really say anything bad about it. I didn't notice anything strange. It was just the same as last year, same as the original. It's probably been for years.
Yeah, and if you've never been in there, you'll probably really love it.
Oh yeah, it's because it's done really well. When there's enough actors in there, it's brilliant.
And the smell pods.
Smell pods everywhere. It takes you a little tour through a haunted attic.
And you go into a fireplace, which is really hot actually when you're walking through there.
Yeah, and one more surprise in there for you. So
exactly.
But we got to choose which one we're going to next.
Yeah, not sure.
Whichever's closer, I think.
Yeah, you'll find out when we do.
Yeah, we're about to get a roller coaster in between. Who knows? But we haven't been on one yet. And it's like 4:30. It's like crazy.
Yeah, but let's go.
I'm going for withdrawals. Well, it's a rarity for the coaster barrers. Sarah is popping to the shop while I pop on to the Smiler in single rider. We don't usually do single rider ever, but since it's a 20-minute queue, we'll see how long this takes in single rider. And yeah, I mean, I don't blame her. The Smiler is running rough this year, and in the rain, it's running even rougher. So this will probably be quite disastrous, but you can't help it. Make use of the time, so single rider it is. As expected, that was rough. It's still running rough all year. She's glorious, but she runs rough, especially in the rain. I would put Stevie Bar, but I don't know if it'll fit. Right, that's it, yeah.
Well, we just came out of Daz Games. Reloaded, is it?
Reloaded, yeah.
Yeah, Reloaded.
The new version. We never tried the original because it didn't seem like our type of thing, but I have to say I kind of enjoyed that.
It was like organised chaos, or maybe unorganised chaos is the word maybe. There's like barely any theming, and the actors do try their best to like scare you, but you're more likely to run into another person also trying to find their symbol. And someone nicked his symbol. So basically he got triangle, and there was like you had to like press the right button on the side, and there was like 12 of them or something.
Yeah, to unlock so you can scan your wristwatch.
And then basically it went pink, and I was like, Steve, you can scan it, and some woman just came up and just scanned it.
The cheek of it, the absolute shock of it, thieves in the night.
I know, cheating going on here.
But I suppose it's part of the game, to be fair.
It wasn't too bad. I mean, I got 13, you got 14, and I think there was like maybe like 30 in with us. There was so many people.
Yeah, we did it in 4 minutes and 30 something altogether because we got out at the same time. We could have done it faster naturally, but we were just sticking together to see what it was like. So
yeah, and Steve's contact was kind of being a bit funny.
Oh, before I got in there, my contact lens started burning. I was like, I'm gonna be blind during this, but it's still hurting a bit now. But I'm not taking it out yet.
So I found your symbols for you. I got his first actually. And then took me a bit longer to get my own, but hey, it was fine.
It was, and like I said, surprisingly fun. I didn't think it was that type of thing, so we didn't want to do it.
I would call it more of a game rather
it's
than
not
like
scare.
a maze. Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't call it scary. It's like more like running around, quite fun, interactive.
Yeah, it's extremely fun. It's chaotic. You said like kind of controlled, but kind of not, because they try and push you.
It's like uncontrolled chaos. Like they try and like hold you like a lot of the time.
Yeah, they've got traffic signs pretty much, and they're holding you saying that way, this way, and
yeah, and they say they're going to touch you, but it's like more like an arm in front of you like this to stop
zombies,
you, and
like
zombies coming in. Yeah.
And again, I don't watch Daz Games, neither do you, so we've got no idea who he is. He's a horror streamer apparently. So we've got no affiliation, so we're just saying we like it because we found it was fun. But it's, yeah, I can see why people say it's not good for a scare event. It should probably be on a different time of the year.
Yeah, like that would actually be quite good just as a fun interactive game to do while you're at Alton Towers. Like just like an it's kind of like a bit like an interactive dart maze, but it's like a walking dart maze. So you could just call it Daz Games interactive game, like and then you could just do it any time of the year and it'd be quite fun.
It would be. I mean, again, the zombies in there are obviously supposed to be the horror element of it, but you don't really notice that because you're focused on your game. You're so focused on your symbols, you don't care. You're like, no, bye, we're going to symbols, yeah, you get out of here, boom.
Like I said, you're more likely to run into like another person trying to find their symbols as well, and then other people nick them, obviously. So.
Yeah, but the Alton Ancestors are going to be on very shortly, so we're going to go have a look at those.
Yes, let's go.
Ooh.
Woo!
Well, we just came out of the Altonville mine tour and it wasn't good this time around, but not because of what you think.
No, basically, it's more a case of like, so there was plenty of actors in there.
Loads.
Really good. Tiny was there with his chainsaw.
And the sheriff was the same as last year, same actor.
Yeah, and the actors did a really good job of what they had. Basically, what happens is they put too many people through, so we had a group of 9.
Which I thought was like, oh, that's better. It's not crazy.
No, it wasn't. Basically, there was, I think, a group of, we were like at the end of it, so I think we were like 6 and 7, and there was a group of 6 or 5 in front of us, and like literally, they were so jumpy. They kept getting scared every 2 minutes, so like they were like literally carrying around the corner, so we already knew the scares were coming before they came.
And obviously the actors were probably trying to focus on certain people in front and back, so you didn't really get much in terms of scares. It was much better last year when there was like just 4 of us in there. It was...
Yeah, because we got a lot more jump scares, because like obviously you didn't know they were coming. So.
Yeah, and as far as the touch factor goes, there's still some touch in there.
Yeah, they kind of just like kind of swipe you or maybe like push you a little bit.
Yeah, because you got stroked on your face.
Yeah, I got like a weird thing from like a guy with a gas mask on.
Yeah, and but he last put her hands through a cage and got my face, and then someone else shortly after pushed me from behind. So there's some of that, and a guy behind me got pushed as well about 30 seconds later, and he almost fell over. But for now, we're gonna get on to Curse of Alton Manor because we want to see that in the darkish area. It's starting to get dark now.
Yeah, and it's still very foggy, so it's very ambient at the moment. It's perfect for Scarefest,
yeah,
actually.
if I flip the camera around, you'll see. Look at the fog. It's just pure fog out of there, which is really good because it keeps the horror.
Yeah,
vibe.
it really does add to it actually, which works.
Yeah, so we want to see Curse, see it in the dark once it gets a tiny bit darker, get a few rides on Nemi, and then check out
Compound, our last Skemies.
the main event, and then we'll give a rating to each one. And of course, after we finish the video, more Nemi, because we might as well.
Yeah, night rides on Nemi, definitely. Woo. And because Wickerman's closed. Sad.
Conspiracy theories are cost cutting.
So sad that Wickerman's closed. It's such a good night ride as well.
I know, it's already looking beautiful. It's still early on, and it's looking beautiful. It's like, ah. Oh.
Hopefully it'll be open when we come back for fireworks.
Hopefully. It better be.
I know.
Choo choo in the dark. Look at it go.
Up here.
Oh yeah. She's in the window. The doomed party has arrived. Well, we had some great rides on Nemesis, some of the best we've had. Running great at night time, as you can tell. The clouds have opened.
Yeah, it's absolutely fucking down.
It is, and we've got one more thing to do, and that's burial ground. So we're gonna rush over there now, despite being drowned like absolute rats. I'm pretty sure we are the only people in burial grounds with this torrential rain.
And it is awful.
It's very awful. I am a drowned rat. Year of the ram.
This is our
Join us. Join us. Always do.
right now.
tomorrow.
Well, after that burial grounds, which was quite surprising considering that it was that soaking actors been out in the rain, we got back to the hotel, dried up and completely digested our thoughts, and we thought we'd give them to you now on Compound, the main event whilst we're back in Alton Towers, which was quite surprising because we was expecting a Marmite reaction almost, considering some people hate it, some people love it.
Yeah, so we weren't really sure what to expect, and it was actually alright, to be fair.
Yeah, now we've heard a lot of reports where some people have terrible experiences in there as far as being like touched and stuff or thrown around. Other people, like ourselves, didn't really get touched that much. And some people have boring experiences where you get stuck in a room and get shouted at for like the entire event pretty much.
Yeah, then you go from that room into another room.
Yeah, because we've figured out based on what we've read online about other people's reports as well as our own experiences, which of course were different, it's a modular experience as far as we can tell. You will be essentially able to choose what room or which path you take, and you will then be coerced into different paths by the guards.
Yeah, so basically you get put into a pod separately, obviously, from your group, and then after that the doors will open after a little like pre-show bit, and you'll go out like sort of a back entrance, and then you'll just go follow the rows around from there, and then like a bigger room, and those bigger room have like different entrances, and the guards will shove you to whatever way that you get put. And from what I heard from previous people, when they got put into an isolation room, I got put into an isolation room and I was just shoved in there by one of the guards, and I was just thinking, oh great, I'm gonna be in for the boring one, because obviously from what people have said, it was you get put in a room and then you get put in another room and then you leave, and that was it. And that didn't happen to me. I got put in the isolation room, I was in there for maybe 20 seconds. The guard tried to like grab me at one point, just put his arm through a door. And then it said, door will open in 10 seconds. It opened in 10 seconds. I walked round the corner and I was back in the room I started in. And then I just did the
maze as normal, basically. So, because you went through quite a few rooms that I did apparently, because I went through a kitchen area for one, which you didn't have, which had a dwarf in it, which was kind of cool because it was kind of like creepy and scary. And we both got put into a room with ropes hanging down from the ceilings. Yes, and there was like water drums on the floor, like lower than the floor level, with like a guy with a gas mask. Yeah, you had to like lean to get under there. We both went through that separately because, as Sarah said, she got separated from someone and got told to go into an isolation room. The same guy said almost the same exact thing to me: "Are you mutant? Are you infected?" And he took me off separately because I ran into another person in there, so that I think they want to separate you and keep you away from each other. So he put me into that low ceiling area by myself. And I say the best part I can think about it, for me at least, the most fun room was like a strobe light room with an alien or nemesis baby inside of it, because that was pretty intense. Yeah, and you can't see anything at all. It's just like dark with like a flash of white light, really bright every now and again. So like you're trying to navigate like not falling over yourself in the dark essentially, with like a light every like couple of seconds, like just, and then obviously these actors coming at you, which is quite funny. Yeah, and I'm not sure if I got a different lighting package being there at a different time, but when I went in there I could see like it looked almost like a tank, but it was so brief with a body on it or something. And then yes, I saw that as well. And then the strobe light started, but my strobe light was going so all I could see was constant flash, and it literally overloaded my senses to the point where I was blind. All I could see was white light, or that's all I could see. I had to literally cover my eyes like this and just try and see and put my hand forward just to get through. And then when I opened my eyes, there was a bloody Stranger Things nemesis baby alien right in my face. Whereas like, I just followed the alien to try and get out because I was like, I can't see anything. So I just started walking. Every time I got a white flash, it was like, yeah, everything okay, I'll go that way, we'll just walk. I never actually fell into anything, so that was quite lucky. Yeah, and of course there's also some dudes with tasers near the end who will come up and like prod with tasers. Yeah, I got one for that because it just went black and then suddenly it flashed white and I had a taser in my face, which was my only jump scare for the entire thing, because obviously normally you're not expecting someone to have a taser in your face. So, but he tried to get me a few times after that. I'm like, dude, you already got me once, that's it. You get one try. One shot. That's it, yeah. you had the shock factor for one time and then the rest of it was like, but then there was a woman behind me and she was getting every 2 seconds. It was quite funny. However, if you've already skipped this part because of spoilers and you don't want to know about the maze, the overall experience of the maze was fun. It'll probably change no matter which cycle you get. You could get a horrible cycle like the isolation one, sticking all isolation the entire way through, or you could get a variety and be able to choose modular experiences. And the touching level in there, for us at least, what we can say, wasn't anything too crazy. No, they kind of just like maybe shove your shoulder a little bit, or maybe like try and put their hands in your face. That's kind of like the worst it got for us. Yeah, really, so just get a taser in your face. Yeah, just get in your face really and push it. It's no different than everyone's we've been into. But again, some people online have had horrible experiences in there, so you just probably have to do your research and hope you get a decent day. But I think the main difference with us, we had 4 people in our batch, which was probably...
Yeah, we were really lucky because there was a massive group went in just before we did, and I think they would have had a worse time.
Yeah, there was about 12 plus people at least,
Yeah.
more. Well, we had 4 people, so we probably had the ideal experience because there's 5 pods in there.
Yeah.
By default, so that literally it was very sparse. It was more actors than us, essentially.
Yeah, there was, which actually made it more fun.
Yeah, so obviously it's one of those things, it's conditional. You might get a good response in there, you might get a bad timer in there. It's hard to really say. Although, that's one bad mark for Alton Towers today. As you can see, it's a really busy day. Again, loads of school trips. Hoi! Loads of school trips. And guess what? The queue is over an hour. You can see it all the way up the valley. And they've got one train on Nemesis. One train. What are Alton Towers thinking about? This is just insanity. Addendum number 578. As you can see, Galactica is also down, and Nemesis is still on one train service, and it's literally like getting close to 12 o'clock. What are they playing at?
Yeah, so an 8 p.m. closure on a quiet weekday, and it's not quiet because they have booked 5 million school trips.
Stupid. It's ridiculous. It's like Alton Towers is like, it's our home park and we do love the place, but compared to the other parks we've been to, we're soon starting to see that this place has been run horribly this year. We are starting to agree with many people over the past year now who said this is one of its worst years.
Yeah, operations has just been really terrible this year, and I really wish I didn't have to say that, but I do.
Exactly, because we don't like being negative at all. We
No.
always like showing the positives, but also being honest, and this is unfortunately being honest.
Yeah, and obviously, like, the vlog was mostly about Scarefest, so we were only talking about is Scarefest worth it. If you come for the roller coasters, then operations aren't great. They aren't.
So after a day and a half at the park, was Scarefest worth it in 2024?
In our opinion, we think it was worth it, as we were pleasantly surprised, but it'll depend on what you want out of this experience.
It really will, as Alton's ride availability and operations are quite spotty at the moment, so if you're here for scares and the rides, you could be disappointed on a bad day.
Was the event perfect? No, but we still enjoyed the event, and Alton can hopefully improve the event in the coming seasons.
And with that being said, be like a barra.
And keep coasting!
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye-bye.
Bye!